Fish On, and I want to welcome y'all to today's show. Today on Texas Fisherman, we've got a special guest. Now, I don't fish with guides much, but this guy just happened to be a good friend of mine. We're fishing with Captain Ralph Frazier. Look at that. Today's going to put us on these guys. Now, neat thing about Ralph, when we had our very first tournament, he won it. So he's the very first place check I've ever written.
I like it.
I bet you do. I bet you do. Ralph is also National Pro Staff for Evinrude, and we'll be talking a little bit about the new ETECs here after a while, but right now we're going to get to fishing. Yeah.
Let's go do some fishing.
Texas Fisherman TV is sponsored by Mayak Boats, Evinrude ETEC, Cresta's Boats and Motors, Fifth Lake Trailers, Cajun Thunder, Bad Marine Supply, Red Tail Rods, BioBore, and the Mayak Owners Tournament.
All right, so let me tell you about how I met Ralph. So our very first tournament we ever did was the Texas Redfish Series. Actually, our very first one was called the Texas Redfish Tournament Series. And we show up to Seabrook, Texas. It's about 38 degrees, it's raining, and the wind's blowing about probably 25, 30 miles an hour, which means they roll out of the harbor into about 6-foot waves. And we think, there's no way anyone's going to even get out there or even catch fish. Now, we have the tournament. Boats go out. About half of them are back before even lunchtime. They're done. They're getting off the water. And all of a sudden, we see this boat pull up, and it's got this crazy mullet on the side. You remember the mullet?
Yeah.
And we see these guys, and they pull over, and they're changing shirts. Oh.
There he is.
All right.
Girl. That's a little better.
So these guys are Ralph and Steve, and they're changing shirts to put on sponsor shirts because they know they've got this thing won. And they bring in 2 monster redfish and take the very first one. Hey, if we're in Louisiana, that'd be a keeper.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt.
Yes.
No doubt. But you always got to remember in Louisiana, they all know the game warden. But yeah, they're 12 inches are keepers in Louisiana, and my gosh, I don't know if that. Oh, there went another miss. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
He followed up. It was even smaller than that one. He just followed it up. He just couldn't fit it in his mouth. All right, so all of a sudden I'm getting schooled.
There he is. All right.
Oh yeah, he just came up.
There's nothing I enjoy better than putting a whooping on Scotty.
Well, I am just getting schooled right now too.
They're not very big, and I don't know what happened. Believe it or not, in here yesterday we were catching 24 to 26 inch trout. That one has shrunk.
Well, to finish my story, if Ralph would quit catching fish long enough for me to tell the story, to finish it off, him and Steve come up with these monster reds and just whooped the field. I think there are 2 boats that brought in over 10 pounds. Ever since then, I decided I wanted Ralph to be my friend because I knew he could fish.
Oh,
And there's your proof right there.
man. An unbelievable ride for me. For 42 years, I've been guiding on Galveston Bay and have been fortunate enough to be sponsored and get to go all over the country fishing in a lot of professional tournaments. And I've met a lot of nice guys, and I've been in some faraway places that, there's another one.
All right, well,
I just, hate it when they interrupt a good story.
You know.
Well, we're gonna catch the little ones now, and then we're gonna catch the big ones in an hour or so. Right now, I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm having so much fun since I'm putting it on him so bad that I just don't want to leave this spot.
This is starting to hurt, guys. This is starting to hurt.
When we take people guiding in the wintertime for trophy trout, we tell them, let's expect to get one bite a day. And if you miss that one bite, expect that you may not get another one. For them.
Oh.
Just another one.
That one's been over a little bit more, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is. But that's, you know, I'm trying to keep these out of your way so you can get
I appreciate that.
a big fish.
I appreciate that.
Evidently.
That's awful nice of you. Oh.
Not going to touch her at all. Hopefully. Live to grow up, have babies. They don't care much for this lure that I'm throwing.
There we go.
Oh my gosh. Everybody cast quick. They got to be fixed. Scotty's got one on.
You know, he's fighting like he's a big fish, but
he's
hooked under the chin. I thought I had me a monster for a minute. And that's about how the bite's been today, right there.
Yep. They are definitely not aggressive. There he is.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Ralph saw him.
That away. Man, I tell you what, I was afraid Scott was going to catch as many fish as me this time on this trip. Thank goodness all that changed.
I took your spot. Oh, there we go. That's a better fish.
That's a better fish.
Yep. That one would make 2 good fillets.
Yep, that's a Texas keeper. All right, sweetie, we're gonna do all we can to get you off of there without even touching you. You get in front of them, they won't go to the side of them to catch it. Got him?
All right.
That away. Better fish.
Yeah.
Staying down.
I had my trout drag set. Let's see what we got here. That's a big trout. Oh, that's not a trout making that kind of run. He's going for the motor.
There you have it. Even the best laid plans sometimes go awry.
All right, well, Ralph, I tell you what, we're definitely on fish. You definitely put us on the fish. We just, something wasn't right. And what do you think?
Well, that had something to do with the difference in the color of the water, and I don't know if it was the high pressure or what, but it was definitely a totally different scenario today than it was yesterday. A lot of big fish yesterday, but still, I mean, we had a few bites from big fish, but a tremendous amount of bites with little fish, and you'd think that we would have caught a few more bigger ones in there.
Right now, we're gonna head off to some commercials, go visit some of our sponsors, and then when we come back, it'll be tomorrow morning, bright and early, and part 2 of our adventure. So thanks for joining us here on Texas Fisherman TV. We'll see you here in just a few minutes.
That whole pocket is completely eat up with mullet.
Nice thing is we got plenty of open fish. Yes, right there. All right. Well, welcome to day 2. Glad y'all stayed with us. This is a good fish. I've got a net right here in the back. Oh yeah, he's staying down.
Flounder, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a flounder redfish. Oh, it's a big old flatty. Big old flatty. There's a little net right there, Ralph. Look at this guy. Look at this fish. There's a blue net there too that's already together either way. Well, we're back for day 2. Let the fog lift. Right here there's no wind, but fish are biting. And there it is. Oh man, I have a feeling today's gonna be a good day.
Better. Boy, that one I just lost though was a big one. Pretty fish.
There we go.
Out of the way.
All right.
Alright.
Yeah.
Staying down.
He's staying down. He's shaking his head awful hard. He doesn't want to come in this boat.
There he is.
Yeah. How about that?
At least every fish today.
That's right.
Plus.
Kind of hook went in. See, they're hitting funny today. Now what's happened more likely is he took it by the head, and when he did, that hook went under, and I set the hook on it like that for it to be underneath. But that right there, that's perfect eating size. All right, well, we're starting to box a few fish. Well, I say box, we're throwing them back, but we're getting a few fish in the boat. And what we're doing is we're drifting as best as we can, mostly trolling motor, but we just now got a breeze. And we're out here, and there's humps and lumps and shell. Either some big shell or some big rocks, because I'm bumping them on the bottom, hitting them.
I beg your pardon?
And I don't know if it's big shell or big rocks.
No, I was talking about the bumping part. It's
Yeah.
more like you've been hooked up.
I'm catching every rock out there.
Have you been fortunate enough to be in one of the new Generation 2 motors?
I have not.
Oh my gosh. It's a new world of outboard motors. I've been guiding 42 years and been running boats my whole life, and I've never seen anything come on the boating market that's anything at all as good as what this is. It's just, the entire motor's redesigned. The torque is so much bigger than everybody else's that literally at 35 miles an hour, if you're going to hit it, you have to tell your customers you have to hang on, because it will literally throw them out of the boat. It feeds water to itself. You can actually now, with the eye command, you punch it, put it on auto, and everybody can drive a boat now like a race boat driver. The motor actually does all the trimming and reading the water itself. So all you got to do is give it the amount of fuel that you want to for the speed, and it'll react to you hit a boat wake or you make a big turn or a 360 or whatever. It's just totally unbelievable. And I mean, it's just like the Generation 1 engine that you're running right now. Those come with 7 years warranty. 7 years. That's unheard of in the marine industry. You know, they're taking care of their customer. The Generation 2 now is 500 hours, 5 years full warranty, and including corrosion warranty. So there's just no way that anybody else can compete with what the Generation 2 is doing. And the fuel performance, it's 77% better emissions control than the top competitor in the marketplace. It's 20%, they say 15%. It's 20% better fuel economy than the next most competitive or competitor down the line. And then the torque. I mean, just over the next closest one, the Yamaha, and it shows it on there, it's a Yamaha shows 525 foot-pounds of torque. The new G2 is 620 foot-pounds of torque. So it's just so far above everything else that's on the marketplace or that anybody's ever seen. all the Generation 1 motors, including Evinrude, and all the other motors are designed around a power head that was designed for a carbureted engine. That's how they designed that motor. This is the first motor that has ever been developed for direct injection. If they took direct injection, built a motor around it, found out what made lower units blow up, what made power heads blow up, and they fixed it all before they brought it on the market. So it is without a doubt the most exciting thing that's happened in the marine industry since 1938.
You see how those birds were sitting still?
Yeah.
You see any birds flying right now?
No.
Birds aren't looking for bait right now. They're not looking for food. You don't see a whole lot of bait bubbling. If I didn't know any better, I'd almost think we're close to slack tide. Except for that fish right there.
All right, that's better.
Well, Ralph, I appreciate that.
Stay buttoned up. My goodness.
Look at that. What do you think? Is it netter?
It's a decent fish.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That's a trout tournament fish.
That is what we're looking for right there.
That is definitely a trout tournament fish. And look how fat she is. Well, that is a perfect tournament fish. I mean, just, and look at her. That's the reason the bite is so light. One tooth. Those fish are molting early.
I count it a great privilege and an honor to spend a few minutes with you today. As we've already just experienced a wonderful outdoor show, I get to share with you a little bit about the creator of the outdoors, God. I want to, if I can, for a few minutes, talk about, well, one of the experiences of fishing. You know, when it's time to go fishing, you get your rod and your reel out and look in the tackle box, make sure you have the right line. But it's very important that you pick a lure that will work in whatever area you're fishing in. That lure is intended to entice whatever you're fishing for to take hold of it. And once taken hold of, then you can reel it in, put it on your stringer, later on, roast it. Well, for enjoyment and eating. You know how that goes. And matter of fact, I'm thinking of a fish fry right now. That'd be a lot of fun. Well, I want you to do a little flip side for a moment, and I want you to recall what the Word of God says. I was looking at it here recently in James chapter 1. He said, God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone, but each one is tempted when he by his own evil desire he is dragged away and enticed. And after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Why did I read that verse? Because as I flipped it on you, I want you to remember, I want you to recognize and recall that we do have, well, an enemy of our soul. His name is Satan. He's real, and he's the one who's doing the fishing, throwing out nice little lures for you and I to think it's pretty, and so we can latch on to. Remember Jesus himself? Jesus himself, while he was in the wilderness being in the midst of a fast for 40 days and 40 nights, he was enticed by the animal. Not his spirit, because he was fully God and fully man, but in his flesh, he was enticed. Took him up on a high mountain and said, hey, I'm going to give you all of this if you just bow down and worship. He even tried to lure in Jesus himself. Satan's not a respecter of persons. He'll go after Jesus. He'll go after you. Trying to entice you. He's trying to lure you in. But remember, it's not the lure that's the sin. It's when you take a hold of it, sin is then birth. That's what the scripture says. That's what we've just read. And I don't want to end up on Satan's stringer one day, because when all's said and done, I don't want to roast. Lord bless you.
They're still, the bite is so finicky in comparison to what it's been. Something has got them messed up, because I don't know if it's the boat's running over them or what, but I mean, I'm normally, the worst I'll do is I'll catch 4 out of every 5 hits. There's
like
one.
that?
Yeah. That's a little bit better.
All right.
Not a monster like I had on a while ago, but it is better.
Staying down.
It's a trout though. I can tell by the way
And,
it's
oh
shaking.
yeah, pretty trout. Pretty trout.
Yeah.
Look at that. All right.
Pretty fishing, see? One tooth again. But that one ate it like it's supposed to.
I gave you back the trolling motor. See what happens?
Imagine that.
All right, well, Captain Ralph.
Thank you. I thought we was gonna catch another fish.
The bell just rang and school is out. Man, we're gonna wrap it up on that one. I tell you what, Captain Ralph, thank you. We had a great 2 days. We fished the afternoon yesterday, morning today. Caught a lot of fish. A lot of them you won't get to see. A lot of them we didn't get to see.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
hooked a lot of fish. Weird bite, but man, I had a great time. A place I've never fished for.
It was a blast. We had a real good time. We caught a whole bunch of fish, but we probably missed more than we caught. And we lost some really big fish, some that we got to see, some that we didn't get to see. Unfortunately, y'all won't get to see them on there, and you'll just have to take our word for it. But yeah, it's been a great 2 days. We've had some pretty weather. The wind blew a little bit yesterday, but it's been perfect today. Thanks for coming. Enjoyed having y'all, and come back and see us again.
All right. You never know, you might see them again.